See us, and let's put on the countdown here. So let's get this fancy show going. Is this exciting, Vic?
Yes.
We're streaming on everything, so now we can do the real. Here we go.
So you wanna be
So you want to be
a
cool kid, hanging with the insect. That's me. Looking real. Cool and fine. Look at that hat. He is fine. Casting your net.
So you wanna be
So you want to be. My drums are in the other room, but here we go. Bop, 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 bop.
lonely girl.
Thank you to Serge Hoffman, my friend. You may know him from SAP. He is a musical genius now, and he composes songs for Cirque du Soleil and movies and concerts and orchestras and opera singers. And he wrote the music and he sings it, but those are my words. Welcome to We Dish 2, all in caps, Saucy Dame and Cool Dude. I'm Bonnie D, and my very special guest today is Vic I. You want to pronounce your last name for everybody, Vic?
Inglese.
Inglese. Okay. Where you from?
I'm from the Bronx.
Okay, well, I'm from Queens, so we might have crossed paths. You're probably a little younger than me. Okay, I'm going to open up with my special introduction. I hope you like it, and let's see how we do. So then we'll get started. You may know us well, Bonnie D and Vic I, too. Seasoned in life, we love what we do. From social channels, virtual embrace, I'm hugging on LinkedIn and Facebook and YouTube right now. We're sharing our insights in this special people space. Here on We Dish, we're here to play, lightening up life in our uniquely fresh way. Welcoming Vic I, a truly cool dude. And look at that hat. Here's my rhyming intro, and Vic will add more if he wants to with attitude. So here we go. From Montreal's cradle to the Bronx at year one, in a Cole Porter flat, Vic's childhood had begun. 72 families, cousins galore, with weekends at grandma's and foster kids more. An only child first, then a brother came near, and dozens of babies Vic helped raise and cheer. At St. Francis of Rome, math and science were his pride, second in class with achievement his guide. From selling Fanta on Orchard Beach sand to McDonald's Shake Master with a steady hand. Vic spent 10 years as a jeweler, watches to mend, and Corvettes with a K, I remember that place, department stores, Christmas parties brought joy without end. At Mount St. Michael's, Vic studied and played. Then Mercy University, scholarship was paid. An MBA earned while still his junior year. Genius. Finance and accounting would launch Vic's career. Auditor, consultant, IT with flair. Dun& Bradstreet, Wall Street. Vic's skills were everywhere. Cullinet, Barclays, Mercedes-Benz too. With SAP projects, Vic saw visions through. KPMG, HP, Deloitte in his track, Infosys, Accenture. No slowing Vic back. From Detroit to abroad, integration was his stage. Vic's business journey spans each era and each age. Yet passions run deeper. Fine dining, a play, cruises and travels light up Vic's way. Yankees and Rams, with games he's seen all, from Super Bowl clashes to hockey's last call. Vic's garage, a dream. Jags, Benz, a Porsche too. His Maserati roared along life's course. Woohoo! Taconic Parkway still stirs up a smile as Disney and St. Augustine make his travel worthwhile. 3 sons he cherishes and grandsons to spoil, with love for his family, the richest of toil. A cool dude with stories, with laughter and cheer. Vic Inglese in our spotlight. His journey is here. Okay, Vic, how'd I do?
Very nice.
Good, I'm glad. So we're here on We Dish, chatting on life's score, culture, music, food, and oh so much more. Join us live or on demand, day or night. That's why they invented on demand. We're not going to be here tonight. And enjoy our dishing with shared delight. Meet us for real in our live streaming glow. Comments are welcome. Just play nice. We know who you are. We Dish, 2 Saucy Dame and Cool Dude 2, Bonnie D and Vic I, dishing on life's fun. This is for French. Pour vous. There we go. So, overall, what do you think of the intro?
Excellent. Enjoyable.
I'm glad. I'm glad. Okay. What did I miss? Anything you want to expand on, Vic? Anything you want to add to?
Interestingly enough, when I talked about being at sporting events, the one thing I did leave out was I was at Belmont in '73 and saw Secretariat win the Triple Crown.
Wow. Tell everybody where Belmont is. I know it is if it's still there.
Belmont Park is in Queens. It's actually under refurbishment. That's why they
No,
held the Belmont Stakes in Saratoga this year.
I didn't know that. I used to pass Belmont on which parkway is that on? Was it not
It would be the Cross Island, or
Cross Island? The
is
Belt.
yeah, Cross Island,
It was
or the
called the
Southern State, one or the other.
Southern State, the Belt across. Right, right, right.
Yeah.
I remember I passed it a lot of times. Yeah, I think I was there once too. I think a client of mine had owned horses and I was invited to go and watch a race with them. Very interesting. Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that's good.
Tell me about the cars because I have a good friend of yours, Tom Madonna. Tom M has been on the show as well, and he just did my happy birthday show today, and he told me he's up to 40 cars in his life so far, and he's looking at the 41st. What's your favorite car you've ever owned, Vic? You got a lot.
71 Dodge Challenger with a 426 Street Hemi
Where were you driving this? Got to find a
in
road for a car like
in the
that.
Bronx
Really?
on the Bronx River Parkway and the Sprain Parkway,
No kid. Oh, I remember the Sprain Parkway. Okay. I went to a
as we
college
called
up
it,
in
the Grassy Sprain Expressway.
long as you don't call it the ankle sprain expressway. I'm sorry I had to. Listen, we're both New Yorkers. We get it, right? I know we could,
Mhm.
no, we won't talk like that. Okay, so let's get down to business here. Let's talk about music. Your favorite. It wasn't in your bio. I don't know what your likes were, what you were listening to back in the day. Vic, sit up just a little bit. We're losing a little bit of your.
I'm
There we
sorry.
go. Okay, that's okay. I want to see you. You're so good looking. And I love that hat, by the way. Hats get extra points, extra credits on my show. So I'll be telling everybody extra credit for Vic's hat. Okay, we did took care of that. So music, what do you like? What did you like?
Oh, well, one of my favorite sounds of silence. Just the way it goes through. And the two key words are people talking without speaking, people hearing without listening. It still goes on in the world today. You can watch talking heads on TV, and that's exactly what happens. Just has a lot of content, a lot of meaning in there. Because when you think about it, it happens in business as well. Everyone's so worried about getting their point across, they don't want to hear yours.
And subtext. Isn't there subtext too, Vic? Body language,
Oh,
eye
ever.
contact. What
Oh,
do you think?
yes. Everything. You've got to go in and address things. You've got to look at people, and you've got to show in your temper and voice conviction in what you say and how you say it. And then also you have to take that active listening position and make sure you're hearing, especially in our business where you're dealing with clients, what the client says, but not only what he says, but what he really wants and understanding that.
Yep. Reading between the lines. That's what subtext is figuring out what somebody really, really, really wants. They do say in business that everybody has a, I hate to use this word, everybody has a price. Everybody has a point at which they're ready to do something with you, maybe. So that's very, very interesting. So is that considered cool in business to know how to read body language and subtext, Vic?
Oh, absolutely. Because it gives you, I don't want to use the word advantage, but it gives you a perspective of how a person thinks, because sometimes you can read a lot more into the body language than the words they're saying.
It is an advantage. It's a knowledge advantage. It's a perspective advantage. I think I would package it that way. But thank you for that. What other songs? Come on, let's have some more from you.
Well, the other one I love is House at Pooh Corner
What?
by Kenny
Oh,
Loggins.
yes, 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 yes.
It's a fantastic song because it thinks about the loss and almost regain of innocence at the end when he sees his son with his bear. It's just a fun song, makes you think a little bit, and then it realizes how life comes full circle.
You like songs that make you think, I can tell. Very
Yeah, just
interesting.
like The Living Years by Mike and the Mechanics as well.
Yes, yes.
Another great song about perspective of parental-child relationships and how things do go unsaid in the world, and maybe they need to be said more. You have to embrace things.
Mm-hmm. Am I thinking also of Cats in the Cradle? Remember that one?
Cats in the Cradle and also Father and Son by Cat Stevens.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very interesting. What were you listening to as a teenager in the Bronx? I'm going to say this on wrong on purpose in the Bronx.
In the
What were
Bronx,
in the Bronx? What were you listening to?
well, I'm a big doo-wop fan. So I was listening to, I was listening to Dion and the
Of
Belmonts.
course, of
Okay,
course,
I
three
was listening
quarter
to five.
harmony.
I was listening to Five Satins.
Mm-hmm.
Listening to the Pretenders.
Do you
Listening and then also listening to the Fifth Dimension and the Beatles.
Oh my God. I interviewed Marilyn McCoo and Billy Davis Jr. on one of my radio shows years
Oh,
ago.
cool.
Very cool. I also
And she
interviewed
used to
John.
host Solid Gold,
Yeah, there you go. I interviewed Johnny Mathis and
who
Neil
is
Sedaka.
88 right now.
I know, and Neil Sedaka. You remember all of them, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I just saw something with him recently.
I was a stringer reporter for a magazine on Long Island called The Improper. It
Oh,
was not a glossy, it was like a big newspaper. I still have copies of it. And they brought me on as a stringer. I don't think I was paid, but I got tickets to venues at the Westbury Music Fair. And it was arranged through Johnny Mathis. I was going to do the back cover article. That's prime real estate in a
ooh,
paper. And it was arranged that his manager would have him call me. Well, he was on California time. I was in New York, 9 a.m., and didn't have cell phones. I had a cassette recorder set up with his permission, and I was able to tape. I went through two cassette tapes recording it, and the phone rang, Vic, at 9 o'clock in the morning, and a voice said, "Hello, is this Bonnie? This is John M. John Mathis." I almost fell off my chair. American Idol was just getting started. And I asked him, "Do you think it will ever be a success having people audition to sing?" And he said, "I don't think so." I swear to God, I have the article somewhere. And when I spoke to Neil Sedaka, I was upstate on vacation. I can't remember where, Villa Roma, remember that place? And
as a matter of fact, my cousin is there this week.
oh my goodness. Well, lot of memories from Villa Roma. I was the guest of somebody who leased a condo there or an apartment there. So I talked to Neil Sedaka and we had a nice conversation. I managed to get a landline in one of the bedrooms where we were. I was staying with my friends, and he wanted me to help promote a show he was going to be doing for Broadway. He asked me if I could help him sell tickets. I said, "You're Neil Sedaka. What are you asking me? What are you asking me for?" It was just funny, very, very funny. But my article on Johnny Mathis did go on, I believe, the back page, and it was just absolutely
Neat.
wonderful. So I went to the concert, Vic, and they gave me a press pass. And I sat in the 16th row, Westbury Music Fair. And if you remember, was Theater in the Round.
Saw
I
George Carlin there.
Absolutely. And I sat on the aisle seat, row 16 on one of the aisles, and I had a Kodak DX6490 digital camera box, a little clunky, around, with a strap around my neck. And I wasn't allowed to use a flash because obviously there were hundreds of people there. So from my row seat on the aisle in row 16, I was able to take fabulous pictures of Johnny Mathis on stage. I took pictures. I went to concerts for Patti LaBelle, Joan Rivers, the Smothers Brothers, Neil Sedaka. I have a picture of him playing his purple piano. I have a picture of Joan Rivers sitting on the stage with her legs crossed. I have with the bottom of her shoes. Patti LaBelle with her big boa she wrapped around herself. So anyway, it was just wonderful. But while Johnny Mathis was singing, and then when he was talking to the audience, somebody yelled out, "Johnny, we love you." And he responded, "I love you too." The
Oh,
place went nuts. And I got to go backstage and meet him, and I cried. I'm sorry, I had to tell you. Do you have a favorite Johnny Mathis song? Do you remember those days?
yeah. Probably chances are.
That was his one of his first hits. And it
No,
was
but
just,
when
go ahead.
no, I'm sorry. When you talk about Westbury Music Fair, I don't know if you remember the Westchester Premier Theater, which
No, I
opened in
don't.
White Plains,
No.
and that became a huge, huge deal. I saw, just to name a few, the Carpenters, um, Mac Davis,
Really?
but the best of all was Frank and Dean, Frank
Frank and
Sinatra and Dean Martin.
No, that Frank and Dean? I was going to
Yes,
say
that
Jan and
Frank and
Dean.
Dean
Wow, what
with
can you
Pat Cooper and the Gold Diggers up front.
do you know what year it was? Can you remember?
1977 or 78.
Vic, wow. Wow. What was Sinatra singing in those days?
Well, it's interesting because I have a copy of the punch list, not in front of me, but it was Strangers in the Night, My Way, The Way She Looks Tonight,
Oh my
um,
goodness gracious.
and That's Why the Lady is a Tramp. Those are the
I
ones I
have
remember.
I have to do this for you. I had to. I'm allowed to use sound effects, so I just had to do that. Wow. And I have one more. No, I'll do that later. My goodness gracious, what was that like? Did you realize you were a seat? Well, of course he was very popular by then, but my goodness, did it send shivers down your spine to see and Dean Martin too?
Yeah, and then at the end they came out with the bar cart and sang together.
Get out.
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh my, that goes way back. Uh, Favorite Sinatra songs that lasted through the years for you? Anything that you still remember that is part of your life?
My Way.
My Way. Yep, I figured. Yeah, interesting, interesting. Okay. Any other songs you want to talk about?
Well, I'm a bigger Dean fan than Frank fan. That's the funny part.
Which ones do you like from Dean Martin?
You're nobody till somebody loves you.
You're nobody till somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. I'm completely off key, forgive me, but I had to sing it. You want to sing with me, Vic?
No, I don't sing in public.
I try not to, but I can't help it. You want to hear my songs?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, well, mine are discography from various singers, various groups, and they tell the story, bits and pieces of the story of my life. One is, I love this one, Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. That's not at the
Is
top of the
that
list,
fun
but
or
it
funds?
fun. Oh, you sly dog, you. You Don't Own Me by Leslie Gore, and I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar by Helen Reddy. I did a music video for my TV show once for You Don't Own Me by Leslie Gore, and I was going to ask you, I had a lot of the a cappella doo-wop bands from Long Island on my show years ago. Lenny Coco and the Chimes. I emceed for the Duprees. Remember the
Ooh,
Duprees
yes,
at
I
a
do.
rock and roll club in on Jericho Turnpike near me in New Hyde Park. And I'm trying to think of some of the other bands I met on my show. I had quite a few of them on my show. And so here we go. Um, Me and Bobby McGee, way later, 1971, Janis Joplin. And my favorite line from that, Vic, is freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. And I think we need to. Are you there? Oh, you froze for a
Yeah,
second. Yeah, you froze for a second. That to me is such a line. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose is how I've been living my life, I think, after a while. Just do what you want. Pat Benatar's Hit Me With Your Best Shot. Respect by Aretha Franklin. I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. And New Attitude by Patti LaBelle. You see the thread there? You see that?
hmm
Hit me with your
I
best
do.
shot, and I have a new attitude. And then my favorite list is Donna Summer. I was a disco instructor and let me see, I won't tell you the year, but I was a disco queen in Eugene, Oregon with my professional partner Michael, and we entered contests and we taught and we did exhibitions. And Donna Summer, very popular in those days, was one of my favorites. And her list of records, and she left us way too soon, we know that. Her list of songs, Vic, describes my path. She works hard for the money. That's me. Hot stuff. Well, I was never a streetwalker in LA or San Francisco, but I've been called that back in my day. On the radio, I still call this radio what you and I are doing. Bonnie Radio at Gmail. I still go by that. No More Tears. Enough is enough is enough. A duet. Last Dance. I don't teach anymore, but I dance in my kitchen. I Feel Love, which had that Giorgio Moroder beat. Da, 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 I feel love. It sounded like somebody had something in their throat. And the last song I love is Heaven Knows, which was part of the MacArthur Park Suite. And Donna Summer's version of the suite, MacArthur Park Suite, I think it was over 23 minutes, was higher in the charts as a hit than the original one by Richard Harris. Isn't that interesting?
Yes, it is. So now a question.
Yes.
Long Island disco. How many times were you at Uncle Sam's?
I wasn't on Long Island. I was in Eugene,
Oh,
Oregon in those days.
oh, okay.
But when I came back to New York years later, do you remember Club G at the Garden City Hotel?
No, I don't.
I was a regular dancer at Club G at the Garden City Hotel, and there were about five clubs around Long Island, some of them in office buildings. You had to know where to go. And yeah, I was a hustle and ballroom dancer way back in
Oh,
the day, and it was a lot of fun. Uncle Sam's, where was that?
oh man,
What town? On the
it
South
was
Shore?
it was on the South Shore. I can't think of where it was now. Oh,
Okay.
but that and St. James Infirmary, which was
I
another club out in the island.
I
That was
didn't
pretty
know that.
far out as
I
well.
didn't know that. But I did perform comedy at Chuckles once, I think, and a couple of the other clubs out there. Yeah, so yeah, I made the rounds. Very interesting, very interesting. Okay, so we've got our music. Were you into the music in 1978? You were talking about that era because I have a list of the top Hot 100 songs of 78. I'm not going to read the whole list, but do you
Yes, seven.
remember 78? Do you remember Barry Manilow, Can't Smile Without You in the
Yep,
Copacabana? Yeah.
absolutely.
And do you remember Travolta and Olivia Newton-John singing "You're the One That I Want"?
Hmm.
Remember that?
Yep.
And of course, you know the Rolling Stones "Miss You." Da da
Hmm.
da da da. Da. I'm a drummer, and I used to play when I lived in Durham, North Carolina. I played at the open mic nights at a
Oh,
small club called the Corner, and I would bring three songs, and "Miss You" was one of those songs. It's a lot of
nice.
fun. And the Tramps, "Disco Inferno."
Hmm.
Evelyn Champagne King, Shame. That was quite a hit. And a song called Native New Yorker by Odyssey and Steely Dan's Deacon Blues. You remember some of those?
Absolutely.
Yeah, those are some of my favorites. Okay, well, we've certainly gone through the music list. Now let's go to off the top. You can keep your hat on for this, Vic. It's okay. All right. Now, how do you start your day? Is it a drink? Is it a food? Is it an exercise routine? What powers you? Because you're busy, you're working, you have a family, you travel, you do a lot of things. So what powers you, Vic?
Four espressos.
How many?
Four.
Four. Do you make them at home? Do you go
Yes,
out
I
and get
make
the,
them at home.
tell me about your coffee maker, your espresso maker.
I have a Seiko Comfort. It is Seaeco. It was a gift from a colleague. You just keep the beans in it and the water in it, and you press a button, and it makes as many as you would like.
Are they
And I
good?
usually do two consecutive doubles, and then I'll have another three or four in the morning after that.
How much caffeine is that? That would power a train, I think.
I don't worry about caffeine.
I
In the
can't do,
afternoons, I drink Coca-Cola. No phony, no Diet Coke,
no.
pure Coca-Cola.
Yep. I remember that. I think I interviewed somebody from the Coca-Cola company at one point or whoever owned it at the time, and she sent me a six-pack of bottles of Coke. I left them sit in the closet so long that I think they exploded
Oh
or something.
no.
They were terrible. I don't, they weren't drinkable, but I can't do caffeine anymore. I have to have mint tea. If you gave me one cup of regular coffee, Vic, with decent caffeine in it, I would be on the ceiling for 2 hours after that. I have no, and I used to be able to drink 10 cups of coffee a day. No
Yep,
more.
my morning is that and walking the dogs.
Walking the dogs. What kind of dogs and where do you walk them?
I walk them right in front of the house. I have a Bouvier de Flanders and a Miki.
Oh, very, very nice. What are the dogs' names?
Icus and Finn.
What is Icus? What does that name come from?
Icus is actually um, one of the characters in a Turkish TV show called Ertugrul. It's
Hmm,
about the early Turkish warriors and how they built from their tent to dominating. Very interesting show. And
very
Icus was
interesting.
one of the love interests.
Interesting names for dogs. Very interesting. Well, my morning go-to is personal blender, the Pulse kind, Hamilton Beach. I've owned so many of them because after a while, when you use them every day, they kind of wear out. Either the cup starts to leak or the motor goes, "Arr," and it doesn't want to do much. So I think I'm on my fifth or 12th, but 8 ounces of 1 ounce milk, a 1% milk, frozen strawberry sliced, no sweetening, a squirt of raw agave syrup, which is agave. It's not sugar. It's a plant. Um, Sometimes a little bit of Breyer's old fashioned vanilla ice cream, but you won't tell anybody I do that. And a banana. And if you see a
Mm.
woman in Food Lion where I live, spending 20 minutes in the produce section looking for the perfect bunch of 7 to 9 bananas every week, That's me, because they have to last me a whole week. They can't be too green. They can't be speckled. They can't be mushy. They can't be dark. They've got to just be ready to go within 24 hours of bringing them home, and they have to last a week. So that's me. And then I pulse it for a couple of minutes, and then I take the plastic cap off and stick a clean reusable straw. We use the pipe cleaners, and that's my go-to in the morning, and it gets me going. What do you think?
Interesting. Reusable straws, huh?
Yep, reusable plastic straws, and they come with a pipe cleaner, and you just clean them
Okay.
out, and you rub them with a little bit of soap if you want, and a sponge, and you can use them almost forever, I think. And once
Oh,
in a while,
wow.
I'll put some cocoa in it, dry cocoa, and once not sweet, and sometimes I'll put a little bit of cinnamon and ginger in it. Does that sound good?
It does. On the weekend, a little vodka? No.
No, I keep rum in the closet. Rum would be just fine. I'll remember that. When is Saturday? Okay. Thank you very much. Let's see what else. Okay, if you were a superhero, and I don't even know how I would answer this, but if you were a superhero, what would your name be? What would your cape look like? And what would you do? I've never asked this to anybody, Vic. I decided you're my first kid.
I was a superhero. It would be Mental Man,
Mental
and it would be the ability to read everyone's mind and know what everyone's thinking and influence how they react. That would be the power that I would have.
Wow. All right, reading mind has been done before, but influencing how they act, what would your perspective be to make them be better people or more interesting people? What would your power give you? What would you want? What's the goal?
To make them always do the right thing.
Ooh, that's a very interesting goal to make them always do the right thing. Mental man. Huh. And would there be a name with mental man like an M? Because Vic is would be VMM Vic the mental man. Would there be another name to go with the M or just MM?
MM.
MM. I like that. Did you put a lot of thought into this? It's
Not
interesting.
really.
So would this be global? Would you be a global superpower?
Oh, absolutely.
And would you fly or would you just be invisible?
No, wouldn't need to fly.
Okay. You'd be invisible. Would they make movies about you?
I don't know. I
You
would
don't know.
hope so.
We're going to
But
find
I
out
would
in
be
this.
it wouldn't even be a costume. It would be a suit. So you could blend in and people wouldn't know that you're doing it.
Oh my goodness gracious. Isn't that interesting? Wow. Okay. And all right. Okay, if you say so. I'm just looking for see what my next question will be. I don't know what mine would be. I really don't know because I think it would just be a redhead who gets people up on the dance floor. That would be my creativity. Would get people to dance and be happy dancing. I think that would be it. Okay, that would
Mm,
be my. Okay, wait a minute here, Vic. I'm getting a phone call. Hold on. All right. Hi, this is Bonnie D. I'm live streaming with Vic. Hi, Vic Inglese. Who is this? Steven Spielberg? Oh, okay. I'll talk to you for a second. Okay. Who have you? Ron Howard is there? Martin Scorsese is there? Wait a minute. Lorne Michaels? What's he doing there? No, tell him to go get breakfast somewhere. Aaron Sorkin is there? Zemeckis? Eastwood? Clint Eastwood is there? Tarantino? Michael Bay? James Cameron? Well, no, you can't talk to Vic. This is me on the phone. You want me to give a message to Vic? Okay. All right. Vic, they want to know your favorite director out of the ones who I just mentioned are there. And they want to make a movie or a TV show based on you, but not about you. It's not your biopic, it's not your biography. So they want to know what's the name of the character who would be based on your life. What's the genre? Would it be action, drama, fantasy, musical, romance, comedy, sci-fi, time travel, thriller, dance, whatever? And who would play the lead character based on you? And the
So
title of the movie? Okay, listen. All of I was going to say gentlemen, but Shonda Rhimes is there, so I can't. All right, okay, everybody. I will call you back when I'm off with Vic because he's going to tell me now. He's going to make a decision. This is very important. Thank you for calling. Okay, bye bye. Okay, I'm sorry for the interruption, Vic. Okay, Vic, those are your marching orders. What would your movie or TV title, genre, director, character, actor?
okay, it would definitely be comedy. Okay. And unfortunately, the director I want is not in that group, it would
Well,
be Mel Brooks, and I would like Ryan Reynolds to play me.
well, he's available.
And the
Okay.
movie would be I Can't Believe He Said That.
And what would the arc be? It's a movie, right? Full-length movie in the theaters, correct?
Yes, the arc would be that it would always be something that no one expects to hear. So it
Ooh.
would be the what I would call, the anti-hero almost. Instead of reinforce, you'd say, I can't believe you did that, and so on and so forth. And
Would
just a
me
counterculture. And that's why I like the Ryan Reynolds character, because he would fit into that mold.
would Mental Man make an appearance in the movie?
I would think he'd be the star.
A comedy. Wow. Would it be a sci-fi comedy? Any kind of weird stuff happen?
No,
Just
it
real
would be a
people.
man in the street comedy.
Man on the Street comedy. Can you get me complimentary tickets for the debut? I want to go. I don't
Absolutely.
u- I don't usually say this. Oh my goodness. Well, mine would be a limited series. Well, it would start with 6 episodes. It would be a half-hour TV situation comedy without a laugh track. I hate laugh tracks. Okay, even though I do have some here. And it would star either Reba McEntire or not Bette Midler, Reba McEntire or Bonnie Raitt, the singer guitarist, famous musician. And it would be I used to teach eBay buying and selling at Adult Ed for Great Neck Adult Ed when I was living in Great Neck many years ago. And it's interesting what people wanted to sell, what they thought they could sell on eBay. This is many years ago when it was a little easier to sell. So mine would be in a classroom where people came each week would have 4 different people or 6 different people. I was in a computer lab, Vic, with PCs, and everybody had their own station where we could follow along. They could follow along with my teaching. So it would be 6 people bringing something to the class that they wanted to sell, and it would be the backstory of the item and the person. And then somebody in the room would buy that item. Get it?
Yeah,
And the name of it would be I don't know, By the Bay, something like that. It'd be something silly, or Buy Me, Sell Me, something like that. Buy me, sell me, buy it, something like that, or no refunds. Maybe it would be called no refunds. That'd be no refunds. And yeah, and Reba McEntire, I think I'd like her because she's a little redder than I am, but we could negotiate that. And she would be the teacher. And we could even have Bonnie Raitt playing the music, the theme. I get both of them in. It would be 6 episodes, and if it was well done and popular, it would be renewed for another season. So, would you watch that?
absolutely.
Thank you. You're very kind. Okay. All right. I'll have to call them back and tell them that Mel Brooks was chosen, but you appreciated the call. I'm sure you did.
Absolutely.
Okay. Something you lost, broke, sold, gave away, or just misplaced that you still wish you still had, Vic.
Wow. Actually, the thing I sold would have been my 71 Challenger.
Whoa. Really? Well, she was shocked too. Oh my goodness gracious. So why did you sell it?
It had some body damage to it and didn't want to replace it. And back then, I wanted to get a new car.
You just
Should have
wanted to
never
get,
gotten rid of it. It should still be in the driveway.
yep, there you go. Well, I had a life-changing accident, and I've owned 5 used to be Datsun Nissan ZXs, and I've had convertibles, and I had one that was the blue with the silver striping, and I've had white with a red rag top and red leather interior, and that one was in an unfortunate accident where I shouldn't even be here anymore. It's a miracle that I lived, but the car was damaged and it had to be totaled. Just the right rear bumper was smashed. And it was an odd story I won't tell now, but I've told it many times on this show. And I missed that car. And I wanted another Z. And this was about 6 years ago. And you couldn't get a Nissan Z anywhere. They were so popular that even Carvana and the online shopping places where you put your car online,
Mhm.
the minute that the word Z appeared in the listing, before even pictures, they were sold. They were just being grabbed up. And I tried every car dealer, every used car place everywhere in Durham, and I couldn't find one. And one day, I was driving along with a friend on, I'll call it just the car corridor where all the big dealers were. And I was going and looking at anything, anything that would be decent. It had to be automatic, forgive me, and it would like to be a convertible maybe. And I went to a Chevy dealer. I don't know why, and I was browsing their used cars. They had a lot of reasonably high end, maybe not for you, but for me, high end sports cars in the used lot. And a young man came up in a golf cart, Vic. I didn't know who he was, and he came up and he said, "What are you looking for?" I didn't even know he worked there. And I said, "I'm looking for a Z." And he said, "Okay, give me 5 minutes." And he drove off in the golf cart and came back with a with a couple-year-old black convertible BMW Z4. No smoker, automatic. And he said, "What do you think?" And I said, "Will you take a check?" That was an easy sale. He had to come to my house the next day and teach me how to use it because it had so many new features, so much computerization that there were things I had never been accustomed to. So anyway, that's what's it. But it was odd that I was looking for a Z and the universe heard Z
Mhm.
and it found the Z.
So now
And
let
the
me ask you something.
yes,
Your Z's, 240s, 260s, 280s, 300s, which
I had a
models?
little bit of everything. I had a 350, I had a 370, I had the 280, I had the 260. I had five of them
Okay.
over the years. I had the
It-
79, the 83, the 86, the 91, and I think the 2000 something or other. I kept them for quite a few, and I bought them all used. Bought them all used, and I love them.
I remember looking at a 240Z when it came out, and it was $2,999.
Well, I got to tell you that men used to try and buy the car from me when I was sitting in traffic at the Midtown Tunnel waiting to go through the toll bridge. People would roll down their windows and say, "Hey, lady, you want to sell your car?" I said, "No, I'm driving it." When I lived in Great Neck and we had an under the building garage, two-level parking garage. And when I come up to the street one day, two teenage boys were walking by. I stopped at the curb to let them go past, and they knocked on the window and they said, "Lady, you want to sell us your car?" I said, "No, I don't think so." But I had a lot of offers. Even driving at
Oh, I'm sure.
65 on the LIE. Yeah, I had a lot of offers for that car. No comment. Yes. Okay, we'll leave that one alone. So I miss that car. And as much as beautiful as the Z4 is, and it's very pretty, and the front license plate is a mirrored plate that says AKA Radio Red, which is my name on my Monday night show. Um, I miss that Z.
Hmm.
I missed that sea. So it was a lovely car, just lovely. And the rag top was beautiful, and the red leather seats were beautiful. And it was just, it had a feeling on the road. You know what I'm talking about
Oh,
from
yeah.
your car. The Z4 doesn't have that feeling. Maybe I'm just not driving it right. I don't know. Come on over and teach me how to drive it. Okay, so now we're gonna go to, okay, so you know what? I think we engendered a little bit of laughter here. What can I tell you? That they're laughing in advance of your comedy movie. They're telling you it's going to be a hit. That was for you. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the sound effects here and I'm going to go to we're ready for. Okay, in order to do this part of the show, Vic, you have to be able to say the title of the segment, and the title is Say What? Can you say that?
Say what?
No, no, say what? Make it musical. Go ahead.
Say what?
Close enough. Okay, that's the Bronx. Say what? We'll accept it. Okay, so you go first. Are you just going to read your stories or are you going to show them? What's your pleasure?
I was just going to read them,
Okay,
talk
go
about
ahead.
them.
I'm going to put you on speaker view and go ahead. Tell us what you got. You do all
Okay.
three, and then I'll do my three.
So, some things a little funny. So the newest thing is now the Milwaukee Brewers are selling pocket pancakes because their manager actually carries food around in his pockets during the game and he'll take the food out. He pulls a pancake out of his pocket during the game and starts to eat it, even shares it with the reporters. And he takes pizza and folds it in his pocket the whole bit. But now the club is selling Murphy's pocket pancakes at the field for Sunday games for the rest of the season. And basically, they're pancakes with a dip or rolled up with chicken. And this is a new kick now for the games at Milwaukee Brewers. You know,
No way.
the only problem is that Euchre's gone, so we can't be selling beers with them.
Oh my goodness gracious. Pocket pancakes. How long do they sit? How long do they sit in the pocket?
He puts them in before the games.
Oh my God. Okay, we were they like silver dollars or were they the big ones folded up? Big ones
They're
folded
they're
up.
they're probably silver dollars. I haven't seen them. I've only heard about.
Interesting. Okay, what's your next story?
Oh, my next story is we finally proven a very weird thing. There's always been this myth about alligators in the New York sewer systems. And the joke goes as said that, parents would buy them and then they started to get big. So they'd be flushed down the system in New York. And so they'd always say, oh, you got to be careful in the sewers because there's sewer alligators. And the interesting thing they said at one point was, there used to be a very good strain of marijuana down there from all the seeds that were flushed, but you couldn't get to it because of the sewer alligators. But the point here is that they actually, in Florida, Ovidio, Florida, they did find an alligator in the sewer. A 5 foot long alligator was crawling around in the sewer with two glowing eyes. So there really is such a thing as sewer alligators.
Why were the eyes glowing is the question. What
The
was he?
flashlights underneath the ground,
I thought maybe he was smoking something.
or, sewer
Or
gas, right?
yeah, yeah, something like that. Fascinating. What's your third story? Say what?
My third story, which is really mind-boggling, is there is now a fad with a certain age group where they are using pacifiers to soothe themselves. We're talking about business people sitting in an office in front of a computer, and they're sitting with pacifiers in their mouth, and they're selling pacifiers from anywhere from $1.40 to $70. Big business in China. It's stress relievers and sleep aids. And I cannot believe that we're back to having a population of having binkies in their mouth, especially when you look at the kids today whose parents probably spent five to $10,000 on braces, and now they're going to get back their overbite that they tried to cure.
Where did you find these stories, Vic? They're great. What's your source? I want to know.
The New York Post.
I should have known. Was this page three stuff or what's the page that's about movie
There's
stars?
actually a weird story page in the Post. I looked at
Get
it online.
get out. I use Nice News and AI reports and all that to look for my stories, but I have three stories to share with you. Let me go and share my screen here and let's see what we've got here. So I have pictures too. So here we go. This one I thought you would get a kick out of. Can you see this? And I'm going to make it a bit.
Yes, I see Bambi, Thumper, and Flower.
Yes. Well, aren't you the historian here? So, August 21st, 1942, so do the math, based on the 1923 book Bambi, A Life in the Woods by Felix Salten, Bambi was the fifth animated feature film released by Disney. I didn't know this. To accurately capture the forest setting and make it look so beautiful, artists spent months in the New England woods photographing the flora and fauna and modeling Bambi's body and the movement after they observed real white-tailed fawns. Did you know that, Vic?
I did know that.
You did. And while many felt that the movie was unfair in depicting hunting, conservationists hailed it for advancing animal rights and ecological awareness. In 2011, it was added to the Library of Congress National Film Registry, and the reason for this is a live action version of the novel was released in the UK recently and in Ireland, and there's a trailer for it. I thought that was a beautiful picture, though. So bring back memories for you.
Absolutely. Now I want to know about the live action version. Did they shoot Bambi's mother in every one of them?
I'm going to find out. I have a link here and I'll send it to you afterwards, okay?
Okay.
The next story is grapevine waste. Now, this is not, I heard it through the grapevine. This is real physical grapevines, okay? They're turning it into a plastic, Vic, that biodegrades in less than 3 weeks. Apparently, this is a big deal. It's the answer to plastic pollution. So if you buy something that's wrapped in this plastic, and look at the picture. See the
Yeah.
picture? It's clear plastic. That's from grapevines. So if you buy something that's wrapped in this and you throw it away, oh no, and it ends up in the ocean, oh no, it's going to biodegrade automatically. Researchers have turned disposed, meaning they already threw away grapevine canes into a plastic-like material that's not only stronger than plastic, but decomposes. It's led by an associate professor at the Department of Dairy and Food Science. Did you know they even had that department at South Dakota State University? His name is Srinivas Janaswamy. He's a PhD. And the team used grapevine prunings as a cellulose source for packaging films and to address the global problem with plastic pollution. I thought that was really, really interesting. It's a plastic-like bag capable of decomposing naturally in the environment. And Vic, they had already extracted this kind of cellulose from avocado peels, banana peels, alfalfa, switchgrass, and spent coffee grounds. So you might have contributed to that with your coffee grounds. What do you
Yeah, I
think?
also might have contributed with wine consumption.
There you go. There you go. Grapevine canes are the woody stems that support the clusters of grapes, and they are rich in cellulite. Testing showed that the film made has a tensile strength stronger than traditional plastic bags. Wow, depends on what you're putting in them. And the grapevines films broke down completely in 17 days. I thought that was interesting in terms of
Yeah.
technology. And now this one is for you. I didn't know what hat you'd be wearing today, but a rare 2,000-year-old sun hat worn by ancient Romans went on display in the UK. Look at that hat. 2,000 years ago, ancient Romans were wearing a version of the modern bucket hat to shield their faces from the sun, and it's now in England's Bolton Museum. Only three of these hats have been found and restored. It was likely made for a Roman military member after the conquest of Egypt following Queen Cleopatra's death in 30 BCE. They were made of woolvic, used by soldiers to keep the cool in the harsh desert climate to keep them
Wow.
cool. The hat is at the entrance to the Bolton's Egypt galleries until September. Well, we need to book a trip, right? And the two other known hats are at the Whitworth Art Gallery in Manchester and a museum in Florence, Italy. They say it's an incredible moment for Bolton to display such a rare and well-preserved item from ancient Egypt. Interesting?
Yes, very.
Those are my stories. So I have
Cool.
a question for you. Question is, if I get another phone call, which I'm not counting on right now, from a young person who says, I think Vic is a really cool dude. I want to grow up to be like him. I hope that doesn't upset you. It maybe excites you. What would your advice to this person be in terms of how to be or to live your life as a cool dude? Did you plan on living life as a cool dude? I don't think we even knew what that was back in the day, did we?
No, I planned on living my life to do things that I would enjoy and also to, be very honest, mercenary individual that I am. When I started going to school, I said, okay, what job's going to make me money? And I said, oh, accountants make money. So I'm going to be an accountant. Last time I did full charge accounting was 40 years ago, probably, but
Mm-hmm.
but those core skills. So what I would tell someone is look for something that will help you enjoy what you do, but also that will allow you to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Travel,
Ooh.
um, you know, have a family. A lot of people are challenged. You see the younger people today, they're waiting to achieve their homes, they're waiting to achieve their families. And, some of it is, they thought, I don't want to say it the wrong way, but more about the social mores of society in their educational path. And, you've got to look at it. You can much more facilitate helping people by being able to contribute and then help. You don't have to do it day one.
Interesting, interesting. When I pose that question to other cool dudes, they usually say be authentic and be your real self, which is fine, which is be the person you want to be. I haven't heard that one before, though. That's very interesting. When I used to mentor some people when I was at SAP, Vic, I would always say, and I still tell this to people, if you see, and this goes with something you just said, if you see a little bit of light coming through the window, open the window, open the shade, open the Venetian blind, whatever's covering it, and find out where that light's coming from. And that was apparently a line in a Leonard Cohen song, something about a light coming through the window. But I also say, if you see a door that's just a little bit open, and you think it'll be safe, kick the damn door down and go to the other side because you might. Vic, how many careers have you had? 15, 20, 30? How many are you on? I'm on number nine. I feel like a kid compared to you.
Well,
So,
it's interesting you say that because in my mind, all I've ever done in business is automate debits and credits because all of the systems that are involved with, no matter what it is, eventually there's an accounting entry generated.
mhm.
All of SAP, except for some things in planning and something in, building things, You're always getting a transaction that has a debit and has a credit. So you can keep score for the shareholders.
So you've been in accounting, in finance your entire career, but you worked for about 20 different companies and you've traveled the world and you've owned cars and homes and you're still having fun, right?
Oh, I'm having fun every day.
There you go. I feel the same way. And that's part of the reason I started this show is I wanted an opportunity to talk with, not to, speak with and share ideas with cool dudes like you. By the way, you are cool dude number 46. And my goal is to get to number 50 by the first week of November. And that'll be about a year since I started the show. Do you think that's a good goal, Vic?
I do. Now, I guess the question is, should I tattoo that?
I'd be honored.
But of course, I don't do tattoos because you don't put bumper stickers on Ferraris.
That's very cute. That's very cute. That's for you. That's for us. This was a good conversation. Vic, it's been real. Let me go play the outro music. Stick around. We'll talk and we'll
Okay,
take some more
great.
pictures.
Thank you.
Hold on. So you want to be. And you got to wear a cool hat in life. Vic didn't tell you that. You got to wear a cool hat. See? I had that ready a little far away. Casting your net. Drum roll. Got to bring my drumsticks in. Bop, 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 bop.